Okay, so question and answer session number 2. Thank you for everyone that tuned in to number 1. Thank you for the extra questions, and here's number 2. So, Tina Logan asked, beside gratuities, do the employees enjoy getting things like gum, candy, and gift cards? There's been a lot of similar questions to the tipping, so there'll be a bit of a repetition here, but I enjoy receiving candies when people have brought them on with them. I advise against buying candy on board for crew, mainly due to the fact that we can buy it in the gift shops at a discount. So if you spend $5 on candy and give it to us rather than just giving us $5, we could have actually got like $6 worth of candy for that $5. Yeah, so just purely from a mathematical point of view, we get more for our money from the candy shop. But me personally, I've received Amazon cards, I've received alcohol, I've received candy. What I appreciate most is time, someone coming and spending some time with me and saying hey. But yeah, gratuities, we're grateful for absolutely anything. Obviously, some people like to spend money home, so for them cash is ideal. But yeah, I had a lady give me a Chinese bill with 001 at the end of the serial number because it's meant to be good luck in China. So that was cool. I had someone give me pin badges, which I like, from like their hometowns and things like that, or organisations they're with. I really like that sort of stuff. So if you're going to give a gift, make sure you're giving it because it's worth more than a monetary value. If you're giving something for its monetary value, you might as well just give the money. Ashley Jones Dodson, do you get days off? What about sick days? And where am I from? My name is Josh and I'm from London, as you will hear me intro to a lot of my videos. And if you ever come and see me on board, you'll see that's how I always intro myself on stage. I now live in the region of Kent. It's a county. It's east of London, and I live right on the coast. I live literally a 5-minute walk from the cliff tops. We just had sunset behind us. It's known as the Garden of England. But originally, I was born and raised in South London, which is why I am Josh from London, and why my Facebook page is Josh from London. Sick days. If you are only minor sick, then you work anyway. If you have something like the famous GI that goes round, then you get quarantined to your cabin and you get brought food and you can't leave your cabin. You still get paid, but it sucks being locked in your cabin. Absolutely sucks. There's little to do. It's tight confinements. Yeah, it's not a day off by any shape or mean. It's hell. Days off. Some positions do get a day off. For example, I think some of the singers get a day off because they need to rest their vocals, and it's incredibly strenuous them singing for 4 or 5 hours a day. So they get a day off. But most crew, myself included as entertainment staff, we don't get a day off. We work 7 days a week for the 6 months that we're on. No days off, and then we have all our days off in a lump when we come home. From Jacque Battistello Schroder, are you allowed to eat the same food as the guests? We have our own messes or dining rooms down below decks. If we have guest area privileges, like us as the entertainment team do, then we are allowed to eat with the guests in the Lido restaurant, but only if it's not too busy. Like, there's set times we're allowed to go, things like that. So during a port day, for example, when everyone's off, then we take advantage of Guy's Burger or the burrito bars that are on board. But in general, we have our own messes where we eat, especially in busy times. And then every now and again, if we're celebrating something as our team, say we've got a team achievement or someone's birthday, then we might book into the restaurant and go as a team. But we have to book in advance, and it depends on how busy the dining room is that day. Susie DeWitt Skinner, how in the world do you all keep so cheerful, happy attitude while you work so hard? I stay happy because I love my job. I really do. I wouldn't be at home talking about it on YouTube if I didn't love it. And even when I'm at home, I get people message me and I reply. I love my job, and that's why I'm happy. Also, the people that are miserable the whole time generally don't last. Cruising isn't for everyone as far as work goes. You have to be the sort of person that does find the silver lining, finds the positives in everything you do, and it makes the days pass quicker. And for me, seeing what I'm doing having an effect on the guests, and making your vacations great, that's what keeps me happy. I love the fact that I think I do a good job. Some would probably disagree, but that's what keeps me happy and keeps me positive. Terri Long says, biggest complaint about guests on board. I have to be careful here. This could get me fired. Biggest complaint about guests. One of the big ones is probably safety drill. I know that nobody enjoys doing safety drill when you're on board. It's a necessity. It has to be done. Just do as you're asked. I don't really have any major gripes about guests. There's a couple of times where I've offended people on board and they've gone to guest services to complain about it. If ever I say something that offends you, I'd always much rather you come and tell me so that I can fix it and I can apologise. I don't mean to offend people. I'm English, I'm fairly dry, I'm fairly sarcastic, and from time to time there is a misunderstanding and people get offended. And I don't mean to offend anyone, so that'd be a gripe. But generally, I get on with most customers. Oh, don't be late. It's always a pain. Being late back to the ship, or being late to get on the ship in the first place and delaying the entire ship, that's annoying. We pretend that it's okay and we say, oh, it's fine. No, it's annoying. Don't be late. Bernie Ludwick, where do you live when you're not on board? Where do you store your possessions, or do you only have what you have on board? So when I'm on board, I have 2 suitcases, which is most of my life. It's my gadgets, my laptop, my cameras, clothes, uniform, everything I own. I'm currently at my mum and dad's house in Kent, and I have a cupboard in my parents' house, which is about 1 metre square, floor to ceiling, lockable cupboard. So I put everything into storage crates and put it in there, but I don't have a huge amount of worldly belongings. So it's not too much of an issue for me. Some people do decide to keep a flat on, or they have a storage unit, but for me, unfortunately, I've got some storage at mum and dad's, and that's where everything lives. Linda Arnold, another one from you. I always tip extra, just wondering, who should I tip more? Me. Definitely tip me. No. What I would say is tip the people that make a difference to your vacation. Tip the people that are going an extra mile. And also make sure you mention them in your comments cards. People think the comments cards are a throwaway thing. They are not. Those comments cards get read by senior management on board, and they get read by head office. That is how we get promoted within the company. That is how we prove we deserve another contract, and they mean a lot. So the people that have made a difference to you, the people that made your vacation memorable, tip them. If you're going to tip anyone, yeah, the people that made your vacation special. That's what I'd say to that. Judy Hale, where do animals do their business? Anybody who has like an assistance animal on board, so guide dogs, for example, they bring pet pads with them, like puppy pads, so their pets can do their business, and it's just dealt with by the guest, as far as I'm aware. One of the things about bringing one on is that you have to be able to take care of that, and very much like a cat uses a litter box, I think the dogs are trained to do their business in a certain office, shall we say, as we're calling it business. Anis Rail Harris, when there are married couples working on the same ship, do they get to room together? 99% of the time, yes. And they try to give them a double room as well, being a married couple. This isn't always possible, as you'd imagine. So sometimes they would get a bunk cabin with 2 bunks, but they'd still try and be kept together. Worst case scenario is they might be in separate cabins when they get on. and they may have to wait a few weeks until a cabin comes available they can both be moved into. But with obviously anything from 1,000 crew upwards on each ship, there is a huge turnover of staff, and sometimes it takes a couple of weeks to get that sorted. But generally, Carnival are very accommodating, and they do the best to keep you together. And that goes for just people in a long-term relationship as well as married. You don't necessarily have to be married. And last question for this section 2 is going to be from J Lowe. I see new crew members coming aboard each embarkation terminal, and all they have is a backpack. Is everything provided for them? Is there a crew barber? What's accommodation like? Is it dorms or is it single cabins? I've got to be quick because it's getting dark. We drop off our luggage before we get to the terminal. So we do, generally, we all have 2 suitcases plus a backpack. That's what we bring on board. I know in my position I get an allowance of 2 suitcases, which Carnival pay for, getting me on and off the ship. So that's why you don't see us with much in the terminal. There is a barber on board. We can also have our hair cut in the spa, like you guys can, but we can only do that on port days when they're not busy and we have to book in advance. Accommodation is good but tight. You know, they're small cabins. It's not roomy accommodation, but it's perfectly adequate, and it's perfectly proportioned to be very, very usable. The closest to dorm style rooms that I've seen is 3 in a cabin. Now I'm in a 2-person cabin with a bunk, and we have our own bathroom. Some of the cabins will be on a corridor with like 4 cabins of 2 people, or 4 cabins of 3 people on some of the ships, and then at the end of that corridor will be a big communal bathroom. But I'm in a bunk room which has its own bathroom, and basically it depends on what you do on board, what type of cabin you get. Some of the crew, like the engine crew and the room stewards and things, they will get put into the corridors with the shared bathrooms, and generally the staff and above, so staff is anyone who works entertainment or most people that are customer facing basically, we get put into the bunk rooms. Yeah, and then eventually when you become management level you do get your own solo cabin. I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. If you have enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe. I'll be posting on my Facebook page what boat I'm on next. Please do keep asking questions. I'll keep doing my best to answer them. I know I've got at least enough questions to do part 3 of this, and I'm more than halfway to part 4. It won't be today now. The sun is setting behind me, which is why it keeps getting darker. I've brightened it up a couple of times. Hope you can still see me. Have a great night, whatever you're doing, and I'll catch you all soon.